Hi everyone, welcome back. Today, I'm gonna take you through how to build a baby registry. I had this realization that this is probably the most common question I get, not just from my viewers, but from my actual friends too. So I thought, why not make it a video? All right, so building a baby registry. One thing to know is that it's completely different than building a wedding registry. There are some things about a wedding registry that just don't really apply when it comes to the baby registry. Some of the big differences between those two types of registries is with the wedding registry, you're kind of just looking at everything being like, how does this fit into our lives? Is this cute? Will it look good in our home? Will it help us in our kitchen? That kind of thing. And you just know what you want because this is stuff for yourself and for your husband or for your partner. Whereas with the baby registry, half of the stuff that you're trying to put on it, you have no idea if you need it or not. You just are kind of winging it at that point, and you've never used any of these types of items. And that's what makes it truly confusing to build a baby registry versus a wedding registry. So the way I want you to think about your registry is that everything that is listed on that registry is truly just a placeholder for a product that you might end up buying and keeping. And I say that because you can always return these products that you get. So don't get too stressed out on making sure that each item that's on your registry is exactly what you want. It can just be sort of along the lines that you want. For example, the stroller that we had on our registry for Nikosh, I researched strollers for about 2 or 3 months, and I just could not figure out which stroller I wanted. So I finally settled on a stroller. And in hindsight, I'm like, why didn't I just send that stroller back after I'd done more research and tried more strollers? I could have bought myself a lot more time had I not just committed to this stroller. There was something mentally that happened that I was like, I gotta keep every single item that is on my registry. So it doesn't have to be that way. It is not set in stone that everything that is on your registry you have to keep. The best thing about it is that you can actually send everything back. And with these big retailers like Target and Amazon, you get a year to send this stuff back. So my first tip that I would give you guys is to choose one place to have your baby registry. I think it's best to just have one registry, and preferably with one big box retailer, not just a retailer that focuses on only baby stuff. You wanna have a retailer that sells pretty much anything that you're gonna end up needing that can just help you in life and for your baby as well. So I'm talking about retailers like Target, for instance, or even Amazon, which happens to be my preference. And you'll see that once you have your baby, the reason why it's important to have this big box retailer that you get your stuff from is because you're gonna probably end up sending some of the stuff that you got for your baby back. You're gonna realize you didn't end up needing it, or you didn't end up using it, your baby didn't end up liking it, something like that. So you're gonna wanna send them back and get a credit, and you wanna have a credit that's going to be able to apply to lots of different types of products. That might even be things that you end up needing for your baby when they're a little bit older. But what you'll find, honestly, when you have your baby is those first few weeks of having your baby, you're constantly trying to be oh gosh, I didn't know I needed this product. Order, you need this ASAP. Or you're gonna realize you like one product that you're using for your baby and you wanna get more of that same product so that you have several different options of it. Maybe it's, some type of a sleeper for your baby, or, some of the burp pads or pacifiers, something. You're gonna realize you wanna order more of it, so you want it right away. So if you have a baby registry with one of these big box retailers, you can, one, send stuff back, get a credit, and have that credit waiting for you for when you inevitably are ordering lots of different things that first month. And also because it's either Amazon or Target or a retailer like that, you know that you're gonna get the items quickly. Another reason why I would choose to do a registry with either Amazon or Target specifically is because they have a really good return policy on the registry specifically. And so if you guys don't know the difference between what I'm talking about, so if you personally just go and buy something for your baby off of Amazon or Target, that's not considered off of the registry unless you went onto your own registry and made the purchase. But when people purchase something from your registry for you, you get 365 days to return it. So it's a 1-year return policy. And you'll see, you don't know sometimes if you're gonna end up sending something back, because you kind of have to wait and see if your baby's going to take to an item or to a product, or if you actually take to using it. A couple of other pros about using a Amazon registry or a Target registry, they're pretty much the same thing. I think a lot of these registries offer this stuff, so you should truly just look into it, but I know for sure Target and Amazon offer these things. One, it's really easy to set up your registry on their websites or on their apps. With Amazon specifically, you want to make sure that you are a Prime member. And honestly, if you're not a Prime member yet and you're pregnant, become a Prime member because you're going to end up using it, I promise you. So it's really easy to set up your registry with both of them. It's really easy for people to also go onto those registries because most people have used those retailers. And that's like one of the easier things, is that they're just very accessible. Another thing you should look for, and I know that Amazon and Target offer, is a completion discount. And that basically means that even if people didn't buy everything off of your registry, whatever is left, you get like a 15 or 10% discount. It just depends on the retailer to just finish buying everything off of that registry. So that's also a really big perk. I know Amazon specifically, if people purchase up to $500 or more off of your registry total, then you also get a 20% discount on diapers for your baby's first year of life. So I think that's actually like a really cool perk, because I love that Amazon has, for instance, like subscriptions. So you can just have your baby's diapers on subscription and you know that you're getting that 20% discount on top of that. So my next tip, with that in mind, that your registry is kind of a placeholder, all the items on it are placeholders, I want you to also keep in mind that you want to build your registry in a way that's going to give your family and friends different price options to gift you. Because a lot of the time, again, when we're building our registry for the baby, we are putting literally the things that we need. Like we're even putting like the $2 pacifier, or like the $2 butt cream that we're gonna put on our babies and stuff, when you don't really need to do that. Because again, you're going to end up sending stuff back and you're gonna have credits. Like you're gonna end up with at least like $40 in credits. We ended up with like $300 or $400 in credits in the beginning. And so we didn't need to put like those small items on our registry, because people don't really want to buy those small items if you think about it. Like they want to buy like a gift. They have a number in mind, whether that's like they want to buy you a $20 gift, or they want to buy you, like maybe it's grandma and grandpa and they want to buy you the most expensive item on your registry. You want to keep that in mind with the way that you're building your registry. And I say it like that because you also have an idea of what each person kind of wants to spend when it's the family members, especially. Like I knew exactly how much my mother-in-law wanted to spend on our baby, and I knew how much my mom wanted to spend on our baby and stuff, and they had kind of different price ranges that they were looking at. So these are ways to kind of think about how you're building your registry first off. And then you have to like move to like second tier, and that's like family members and friends who are going to buy you like the mid-price stuff. I know I have been there so many times where I get to a person's registry and all that's left are all these like knickknacks and stuff. And that just doesn't feel like the most amazing gift for a friend to give you, right? So you want to keep that in mind too. Like you want to have different priced options, even if these are not things that you're going to end up keeping. You want to make sure that you're giving people different price options. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're the kind of person that actually prefers a gift card, it's kind of rude to say, I prefer a gift card, in my opinion. Other people might feel differently about that. So one thing that you can also put on a registry is you can put gift card options. So you're not necessarily saying to a person, I want you to give me a gift card, but you're like putting it out there. It's more like, just so you guys can know. And the reason why I also say that's a good one to have on there is because, again, going back to people wanting to have a certain price point that they spend on you for the gift, you're giving them that option too. They can just go ahead and put that amount of money onto a gift card, and to them that just feels like a cleaner. You know, there's something like psychological that's going into it, right? Like it gives them just that $40 that they wanted to spend on you, they just gave it to you, and it just was cleaner and more straightforward. Another item that you should have on your registry, and you should have a lot of it, is diapers. This is something that you are definitely going to use. I see a lot of people put like newborn diapers onto their registry, and I think something to keep in mind, you can ask this before you actually even check into your hospital, is a lot of hospitals will actually send you home with newborn baby diapers. So you might not want to put those onto your registry, or if you do, keep that a little bit smaller, like 2 or 3 packs of newborn diapers on your registry, and then go with like 10 options for the size 1 diapers. That way 10 people can buy you a pack of the size 1 diapers. And then same thing with like the size 2 diapers. You want to have like 10 more options of that so that 10 people can buy that for you. They might want to add it as an add-on to what they purchase for you, or that might be what they just end up buying you, is like a lot of diapers, because people end up realizing, especially if they already are parents, just how many diapers you're gonna go through. So that's like a guarantee you're gonna need these diapers. Another tip, if you're actually torn between some of the different items to get for your baby and they all do the same thing, you can still add them to your registry. And again, it goes back to just kind of like using your registry as a placeholder for all of these different types of items that you're trying to decide. The best thing about it is if you're letting other people just go ahead and purchase it, it comes to you and you can decide after you've received all of the different items which one you end up wanting to keep. Like if you're trying to decide, for instance, between like a Mamaroo or a swing for your baby, you can have all of those on your registry because again, you're giving different price point options for people to choose from, and you can always send things back. And truly, I want you to remember this also, you're more likely going to send a lot of this stuff back. So when you get it, don't like commit to making sure that everything gets opened and set up and everything and you toss all the boxes and stuff. It's, you know, like don't overcommit to it. Just wait till the baby gets here. And that's why that 1-year return policy is an amazing policy because you really do find that you end up sending a lot of stuff back. And also keeping that in mind, clothing. When it comes to clothing on your baby registry, I would only add clothing that goes up to about like 6 months of age because past 6 months, you kind of don't know your baby's growth. Like you don't know if your baby's gonna be a slow growing baby or a fast growing baby. I can tell you I had 2 different types of babies. Our first one grew really fast. Our second one, not so much. She's like super tiny. She's like way under her clothing size level and everything. So the reason I say like just go up to 6 months is because you know your baby's gonna like probably fit into that first 6 months, and you can pretty much guess like the season that you're gonna have your baby wearing that clothing within that 6 months and stuff. But beyond that, you don't actually know if the clothing will fit the season. And so you might end up with like big bulky sweaters that are size 12 months. But it turns out by the time your baby is fitting into these sweaters that are for 12 months, it's like the middle of the summertime, right? So you don't know where your baby is going to end up when it comes to the season and they're actually fitting into this clothing. So I wouldn't go past 6 months on your registry. If you get any clothing as gifts that are beyond those sizes, if you can, I would just, again, send those back, get a credit for it, and just wait till you're closer to the time that your baby needs this clothing to then purchase it. Because we had, with Nikosh, for instance, our first, we had so many clothes that just went to waste because it didn't time up season-wise. He just didn't fit into it when it was time to wear it. So it just never worked out, and all that clothing just got wasted. It just sat with tags on it, and then we ended up giving it to friends that eventually could use it. Now, as far as the exact items to put onto your registry, you guys obviously just heard me go through this entire video saying don't worry about overcommitting to the registry items. You don't need to. They're placeholders, all of them. But if you are trying to figure out what items you might want for your baby, keeping in mind that every baby is different and every parent is different, and you don't even really know what your style of parenting is going to be and what items you end up using, I do have lots of newborn must-haves videos though on this channel. So you can use those videos to give you an idea of items you might want to add on to your registry. But again, just keep in mind, these are placeholders. Don't get too stressed out about making the perfect registry because you truly can send everything back, and chances are you are going to find yourself, you know, swapping a lot of different items and just sitting on some credits at one of these retailers and eventually using it. And when the baby arrives, you're going to buy so many different random things that you had no idea you needed, but then you're just like searching for solutions for. So just keep all of that in mind. Try not to get too stressed out about making the perfect registry. Let me know if you guys have any questions, or even if you have tips for anybody trying to build a baby registry in the comments. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Susan Yara, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.